We're coming to you from the Wits Theatre. It's based inside the University of the Witwatersrand Braamfontein campus out here in Johannesburg. This is where the Solo One-Hander Theatre Festival comes to an end tomorrow. Welcome to this edition of the Art Bulletin. I'm Tumi Sedumedi, and thank you very much for staying with Morning Live. Pretoria will come to live today. This as the city hosts its very own and very first art, music, food and design market. According to the organizers, the Capital Collective Market at the Sheds will present an African urban experience to the city's citizens and visitors. Here's more information in the next clip.
It was really inspired by a movement by the people of Pretoria. We're at the stage where we want things to happen there, and everybody says it's a boring city, but they are so wrong. So we are busy with a project called the Capital Collective, and it's basically a collective action by the people. And we decided to get together and to start our own inner city market, and also to bring people back into the inner city. So to create something that's really exciting. We're targeting anybody who's interested in art and food and design and music, people who embrace the diversity of our country, people who like to explore different things and new things, and incorporating all the different talents in this city, because we actually have fantastic talent and wonderful people.
One of Johannesburg's favorite theatre festivals, one that actually celebrates the diverse nature of the LGBTI community, is currently underway at the UJ Arts Centre. That's So Queer is on until the end of this month.
It's our third year of That's So Queer. We started off calling it Reading Gay, a selection of staged readings. We then went into That's So Gay. We considered calling it That's So LGBTI, looking at lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, intersexual communities, making it as accessible and open to everyone as possible. And then we settled on That's So Queer. Queer speaking to something off-center to include heterosexual, bisexual, transsexual identities. It really is a vocabulary, and we really specifically looked at the relevant topics, looking at these umbrella terms with a focus on trans for this year's festival. The lineup is very exciting just because there's something for everyone, I think. We launched on the 7th of October with a fantastic classical concert by That's Okay Ambassador and UJ Dean Federico Freschi and Christopher Dulligan. We're going into Boylesque, which opens on Wednesday, which is going to be fantastic. I mean, it's exactly what you hear when you hear Boylesque. So there's something fun and cabaret. Then we go into, on the 25th of October, Queer Rugby, which I think is also quite interesting and mad. We're going to play it at the UJ Hockey Fields on Main Street in Melville. Multi-Grammy Award-winning superstar Michael Bublé will return to our shores next year. The I Just Haven't Met You Yet singer will tour South Africa's major or popular cities between the 17th and the 22nd of March.
Not everything lasts. I've broken my heart so many times.
The singing sensation's previous tour, titled Crazy Love, had 5 sold-out dates in both Cape Town and Johannesburg, while the album has sold over 7.6 million copies worldwide. This time around, the multi-Grammy Award-winning singer Bublé will perform in a brand new intimate configuration at Cape Town Stadium. According to Big Concerts, it has reconfigured the standard stadium setup into a new fully seated, more intimate setup with the stage positioned nearest to the south quadrant of the stadium. The Canadian superstar will kick off his tour at Moses Mabhida Stadium on March 17th, followed by another performance at Cape Town Stadium. That's on March 19th, then Joburg's Coca-Cola Dome on March 21st and 22nd. Tickets went on sale on Friday the 10th of October.
Did you know that a lot of famous and successful musicians actually started out in choirs or as backing vocalists? Actually, did you know that most of them made a living as session musicians before they started calling their own shots? A few bodies in South Africa want to recognize people who are currently working as backing vocalists and session musicians. This through the first ever Backing Vocals and Session Musicians Awards, set to take place next year. The awards will be launched on Wednesday at the State Theatre.
For a number of years, a lot of the music has been made to come alive by these people. You know, being a session musician and also being a backup musician, we are the ones who arrive when a song is basic. By the time we leave, it's not the same song. At the launch, we're going to have, first it's going to be just acknowledging the people who have done all this work, and also it's going to be us performing as just the musicians who've been session musicians and singers. So we're going to do a little something that we want to leave as a nice surprise, because we've got lots of stories to tell and lots of interaction to do, because as backup musicians we do a whole lot more. Like, let's say for in a second, you walk into the studio, you can see that the main musician is not having the best of days. From lightening up their day, adding a little bit of humor, and then by the time we get to the music, we start adding.
4 young South African artists, a choreographer, a musician, and 2 fine artists are currently working and showcasing their works in France. Made possible by the French Institute of South Africa, their programs kicked off at the beginning of this month, and some will go on until next March.
These 4 artists are first Fana Chabalala. He's a young South African choreographer and dancer, and he's busy with an artistic residency in south of France at the moment. We have also Marie Sedumedi going soon to Réunion Island for an exhibition with Musée Léon Dierks Museum. And we have also a musician, Nakane Touré, who performed recently for one of the most important music festivals in Paris. And last is Mongesi Apai, who is a Gérard Sekoto Award winner for 2013 and is in a residency at La Cité Internationale des Arts in Paris. What makes them interesting is their point of view on the society. The work they are doing is always a reflection of different issues or matters that are of a concern for them.
Local visual artist Themba Khumalo has been invited to showcase his work as part of an online exhibition that features African artists. His work was spotted by Londoner Julie Taylor while on a visit at the Artist Proof Studios earlier this year.
I think the way I approach my artworks, even like the textures, the colors, especially the colors and how I represent people, because I don't use like figures and stuff. So I normally use cars to represent people. So that's how, like, it's more like my signature like style and stuff. So it makes me stand out. And in terms of grey, even grey is like, they represent me as Themba, because I'm much quiet and they kind of settle. So I don't use mostly colors. So I just use like monochrome colors. So this makes me stand out.
Mixtape is a hilarious musical journey that features 3 of South Africa's hottest comedy and musical talent. There's Mortimer Williams, Christy Sadner, and Vanessa Frost. The play is on at the Theatre on the Square in Sandton until tomorrow.
It's a bit of good times back in the 80s and 90s, so it's all those songs that really meant something special back then, and it's a little love story. It's a love triangle of 3 friends growing up together, and how inevitably music plays a big role. We've actually had a couple of people say that the music is the 4th actor in this play, so it actually kind of is so prominent that it becomes almost a character of its own.
There's something for everyone, and you know what? There's nothing bad with being nostalgic and going back to when good times, if you know what I mean. Not to say that times are bad now, but how many times do you sit and say to yourself with your friends, like, yo, remember when Vanilla Ice came out with Ice? Yo, that year! And you know what? Just going back in time and just reflecting on times that meant something good and something positive. I mean, what do you have there, Christy?
I have a Philips tape recorder.
Yes, and sitting in front of the radio the whole day. Just goes to show how much time we had back then.
Yeah.
For the finer things in life, there was no Google or anything, so you had to sit and listen to the radio and wait for the DJ just to go and your song comes on. So yeah, it's basically just reflecting back on the past and times that made you feel good, and hopefully that it would stir up some emotions for the audience as well.
And that's the Art Bulletin story for today, coming to you from the Wits Theatre out in Braamfontein in Johannesburg. If you're keen to catch the last few shows of the So Solo One-Hander Theatre Festival, feel free to visit www.webtickets.co.za. Otherwise, www.wits.ac.za should have more information on the theatre and its productions. If you want to keep in touch with us, you can always tweet @MorningLive SABC, #the Art Bulletin. Until next time, it's a goodbye from us.